volume in the past 10 days of at least 1 million a day, and we still have not selected an alert to use, so we're still seeing the heartbeat. Okay, so one thing to take note of here, whereas before we installed these filters, we were seeing everything that TradeIdeas was reporting. Okay, so by applying filters and alerts over time, what we do is we shrink that information stream down to something that we think is going to make sense to us in our trading style. So one thing that I'm going to clear this window out here, just blank it out for a second, and we'll come back into configure. And in just a moment, I was about to say we should see this thing full of symbols again. Okay, it looks very similar to when we were running it without any filters. But one thing that you can be certain of now is that any of the stocks coming through this list are going to meet this filter criteria. So anything coming through right now, all these symbols, are between 5 and 100 and do at least 1 million shares a day in volume. Okay, so this is an example of using the system just to filter, because we can use the system just to filter, we can use the system just to show us alerts, or the most powerful manifestation of the system is using filters in conjunction with alerts. Okay, so this window is going to be busy all day because there are a gazillion stocks out there that meet this filter criteria. This filter set is nothing special. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to duplicate this window. And now we're going to come in here. So just to reiterate, all this window is doing right now is filtering for us, and it's showing us stocks that meet these filter criteria. Now, one additional thing to point out about the filter criteria and the way that filters work is this. In order for this filter set to be satisfied, all of these filters, all three of them, have to be met simultaneously. So all of them have to line up. Can't just be 2 or 1, but this filter set will not be complete unless all three of these things happen at the exact same time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the way the filters work. They work in the all or none capacity. Our friends over here, the alerts, they do not work in the all or none capacity. They work in the either or capacity. All right, so we'll talk about that in just a little bit more detail here in a minute. But what we're going to do with this window is we're going to right-click to navigate to the heartbeat. We're going to uncheck the heartbeat. We're now going to install an alert. Simple one. Say any stock hitting a new high, but we don't just want it to be a daily high. Let's say a 3-day high. I'm going to click OK. System's going to show me the changes that I'm making. I'm going to click OK one more time. Sometimes the heartbeat removes itself. Sometimes I uncheck it, but I always go back in to make sure that the heartbeat is gone once I start using an alert. Okay?
Okay.
So now the only difference between this window and this window is that we've added an alert. And now this window is all of a sudden fallen quite silent. All right? But the thing to realize here is that this window, even though it's not telling us about it, it knows everything that this one is telling us. Okay? But what it's doing, since it already knows all the stocks that are meeting these filter criteria, now it's just waiting for one of the stocks that's meeting the filter criteria to exhibit this event here. So, anytime we have filters and alerts working together, first and foremost on the checklist is A, is the filter set met? If the filter set is met, the system knows it, and then it waits for one of the stocks meeting the filter set to hit a 4-day high, and then it's going to tell you about it. So, all the stocks that are coming through here, this one's aware of, but the only one so far that has hit the 4-day high was SY that just popped up.
So it's not really like a busy alert or anything.
Right. And that's because, especially with today's market conditions, there aren't a whole lot of stocks out there hitting 3-day highs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But the bottom line, the takeaway from this lesson is to know that since the only difference between the two windows here is that we've got the exact same filter set, and we've replaced the heartbeat with an actual alert. So instead of just asking the system to filter for us, we're now asking the system to filter, and then if one of the stocks meets the filter criteria and this event happens, then this window is going to show it to us.
Are there certain alerts that you cannot use together?
Well, for example, if we came in here and we added another alert, okay, let's add the 25% pullback from low, which is right here from the, let's say from the open. 25% pullback from low from the open. And then we click the button. So now we've got two alerts attached to one filter set. So if this window is going to spit something out, what's the first thing that has to happen again?
Oh, they all have to happen together.
Yep, first the filter set has to be met. Then, since it constantly knows all the stocks meeting the filter criteria, when one of those stocks exhibits either one of these events, now we're going to get a signal. So it's waiting right now. So all the stocks meeting this filter criteria, they're just sitting there right now. They're not exhibiting this event or this event. Mm-hmm. But as soon as one does exhibit a 4-day high or a 3-day high or a 25% pullback from low, it's going to tell us about it. But keep in mind, since we have two alerts installed here, it could be either one of these alerts that triggers the trade. And of course, as long as you have an icon or a description column up, the user will be able to see, okay, I can see that this alert was generated by the 25% pullback from low or the 4-day high. And we can also access the historical feature. For example, this window is not very active right now. If I wanted to see all of the stocks that were generated by this configuration since the open this morning up until now, all I'd have to do is go to history and remove real time. And now you can see, obviously this is the correct time here. We haven't had any new alerts. But as you scroll down here, you can see all of the stocks that this configuration triggered, from the open up until now. And over here you can see the alert that was responsible for generating the trade. 25% pullback here, 4-day high, 25% pullback from high, so forth and so on.
Is there any way to print this off or put it in like an Excel sheet?
On the history?
Yeah, if you wanted to print out your windows.
Absolutely. Like if you wanted to export all of this history into a spreadsheet, we'll make it pretty simple. You just right click here, come back down to history, and select save contents. And once you do that, it's going to automatically put it in a spreadsheet type format for you. So all I would have to do is name the file, make sure I know where I'm saving it, and then boom, that'll be saved for me so that I can access that and open up all this information in spreadsheet format, which makes it really easy to manipulate and, do what I want to with it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I know there's a way to like email yourself this stuff on the website or text it to yourself. Can you do that from here too?
Yeah, absolutely. So for example, let me put this back on real time. All right, let's say I would like to share this alert window with you. Okay, we can do that over Skype. So I'd simply move your Skype window over here and right click and say collaborate. And when I do that, the box pops up. You already have a highlighted line of code in there. And that line of code represents this alert window. So since it's already highlighted, all I have to do is hit Control-C on my keyboard. Then I come over here, right click and say paste. And now you have that string. So once you received it, all you would need to do is this. You would highlight the line of code, right click and select copy. And for example, come over to this window, collaborate, hit the backspace to blank out the current window, paste the new line of code in there, and then boom, we've got this configuration now residing in this window.
Okay.
So it's real simple to collaborate and share information and alerts with other TI users if you'd like to do so.
Okay. Do you have any are there any common mistakes, customers make in the beginning or?